know, as time goes by, things in life just continuously get harder and harder. More things become difficult because you're always progressing in a manner, if you're moving forward, finding new problems, because you're creating bigger solutions for yourself. So when you do that, there's always going to be a larger than life problem after you've been able to solve the previous answer. And that's just a manner of progress, a manner of progression. And I think everybody needs to be always striving for progress, always looking for their own purpose in their success, so that they can be able to find what makes them happy. Because if you're not making progress, you're not going to be happy. So this is where I kind of step back and I look at my weekend and I'm like, okay, well, I spent a lot of time having fun, doing a bunch of random things that had me feel good temporarily, but where was the progress in all of that? Did I do a weekly summary? Did I recap the rest of the things that I had encountered that were problematic so that I could be able to find a new solution for them? No, not exactly. So that's really what I want to be able to do in this whole documentation of this process. I'm going to do things, I'm going to try new things, and I'm going to reanalyze them at the end of the week, even daily, and come up with a whole list of new things that I need to tackle. Now, from all of the previous experiences that I've been able to encounter, everything I've been able to gather, which is a load, I did awareness documentations, I did interviews, I did journals, I did so many different things that I could use to reflect. The problem for me is, I strive in the why. So because I have such a strong why and I've really built that massive foundation, the how is now what's critical. I spent a whole year working on the why, maybe half a year, 8 months, whatever. I started my whole personal development journey back in August. Okay, so that's when I started the whole network marketing thing, and that was very short, and then I moved into being able to help with online branding and digital marketing. So in the position that I'm at right now, I can just imagine wiping everything clean off the earth of everything I've been able to do in the past year and just be like, you know, how much did I really learn? How much did I really progress? What did I gather that was actually useful from my own self-progression? I learned a lot about my self-awareness. And I'd have to say that self-awareness is massively key if you're going to grow and do something that you love and be happy doing something that you love. Open yourself up to new ideas, new options in life. The only way you can do that is by gathering new experiences, always doing new things. The tricky part is you have to stay consistent and persistent in your dedications so that you can make that ambition work for you. And that means you have to work, and you have to work hard. That's the hard part. So if you don't gain the momentum, you will never move up to the next level of leadership. You can be filled with purpose, you can be filled with ambition, you can be filled with the drive that you know I am within reason and unreasonably pursuing this, and I'm going to get somewhere. But until you figure out how to be able to create action and execute and create consistent action to produce those results that you're looking for, time and time again, you'll never gain momentum. And momentum is really the third level of leadership that I was able to learn from John Maxwell. If you start getting momentum, you can be able to blow through, say you were a train, blow through a 5-foot wall with that momentum, no problem, at high speeds. But if you were just starting, that train with a 1-inch block wouldn't even be able to roll its wheels. So you have to start somewhere. You have to do something where you're bringing yourself into a position where you want to pursue, you want to grow, you want to learn, you're hungry, and you really need to figure out how. But before you do any of the how, and before any of that comes your way because you found your why, your motivations, make sure that you know the who. And this is something that I had not considered for the longest time until just recently. Who do I want to be in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? Of course, I like to replan that every year. I think that's much more sustainable because so many different things can change within your life within 1 year than doing a whole 10-year plan, because if you're age 18, you have like no idea what you want to do unless if you're very, very passionate from the start and you happen to find what you want to do. That's the hard part, is finding out who you want to be at a young age. If you're ambitious, a millennial like me, if you're trying to grow and prosper, you want to figure out who, because I never did that. I didn't quite know, right? So a lot of what I'm doing now and I'm realizing is the foundation that I developed was the why. And my friend told me recently, his name is David, he told me that there were a lot of philosophers and a lot of people like Plato and Aristotle and Galileo. They were all Greek. And the Greeks, what they did is they strived in why. They found purpose in everything, but they didn't ever build an empire. The Romans built an empire, and they strived for the how. The how, the process, the progress to be able to build a massive empire. So if you want to start with why, that's great. But if you want to kick this up to the next level and start producing momentum, you gotta have more than why. You gotta have the how. Then you'll be able to blow right through. So, start with who do you want to be? Maybe I have it wrong. I don't know. In fact, if I'm to tell you that, it wouldn't be accurate because, realistically speaking, I haven't done it, okay? So I'm thinking about it. It came into my mind. Who do you want to be? I would say anything within your character that lives in your authenticity is who I want to be. And remember that I'm speaking from a place where I'm just sharing my ideas and my thoughts about me, not necessarily giving advice. I think that in order to really become who you want to be, if you're really striving in positivity and truth and purpose, then a great figure to be able to conform to will be that of Jesus Christ. And while that is extremely a blessing and extremely difficult to be able to do, if you can conform yourself to the image of the Son of God, then you can be able to put yourself into a situation where you are following the laws of the world. And those laws are unbreakable. So that's what I was thinking the other day, and I was asking some people in some interviews or some calls, I'm just like, hey, like they happen to be Christian, I'm like, hey, who do you want to be, or who do you want to be like? And that's the answer I ended up giving. On my side, I'm like, hey, I think maybe this is who we should be, And then we got into a deeper conversation. I think when you really realize somebody else's talents and you do a bit of research, and you really feel out who they are before you get on call, it helps a lot. Also, when you're really integral in that relationship, and you actually care to know about them before and during and after, and you collaborate, that's called connection, folks. It's called having a relationship. You want to burn all your relationships? Then screw everybody over by trying to just get a sale and not have a relationship. Long term, short term, I would strive in the long term. That's just me, because I care about them. So, a lot of the changes that have been happening as of late, I'm cleaning my room, I'm having some fun, I'm doing things that perhaps I like to do. A hard part is financially, I'm not very stable at all. Like, I'm literally done. I don't have anything. I haven't been putting in enough how. Okay? I haven't been consistent enough with my actions to produce momentum. I haven't been good enough on my follow-up game, on my procedure. I haven't been good enough on actually figuring out how I can best serve through the how. So now I'm down to $3.85 on credit out of all my cards. They're maxed out. and I paid $2.92 for gas. So that literally leaves me with 92, right, minus 7, which makes 85, in which case I feel terrible if I can't do math like this. Let's get 93. I have 93 cents in multiple bank accounts, total. And I think it was 28 cents in one PayPal, 28 cents in Chase, and the other, if that's 56, then you don't have very much in your other account, period. Okay? It's been a while since I've actually done math. So to think that I can't do math like 36 cents, you know, it's pretty wild to think. Wow. That's scary. Maybe I even got it wrong, I don't know. My mind's not there in the math world. See what I mean? You gotta count numbers, you gotta do how. It's scary. So the fact that I had a very tough day, and I couldn't even buy gas, and I got shut down in multiple ways, and I'm just like, crap, David, I want to be able to hang out with you, man. Can you meet me halfway? Or actually, can you come through? Okay, never mind. Can you meet me halfway? Okay, never mind, I'm stuck. Can't do anything, can't drive out. I gotta figure out this riddle. That's kind of where I was at. And then I'm just like, wow, well, you know, I just gotta clean up some things. I feel like just going home and cleaning my room as I promised myself. And also the people who were watching my Instagram stories, they're like, okay, we'll vote for here. You gotta shift your room instead of keep it. I feel like that's an income-producing activity because once you clean out your mind, it gives you more health, which allows you to produce more abundant wealth. Now, when I get back into everything, I'll feel clear and clean and have a bit more clarity because of the things that I've essentially established myself into having loose habits or a mess. You know, you're essentially, your room or the mess that you create or the cleanliness of it is a window into your brain and how you think. So I think it's a good idea to clean that up and consistently gather a cleanliness state so that you are considered pure. So in that sense, striving toward being able to conform to the image of Jesus is a great level of purity that we all need to strive on to be able to win and live in more than hope, but to set the example as a leader. I think in doing all of this and cleaning my room and going through difficulties and trying to strive for what I want in life, I think if you really want something, if you really want it and you don't want to destroy a relationship, you have to listen and you have to really hear and you have to find a way in. You have to find another way to go about it because we're in the people business, and in order to be able to create any exchange, any conversation, you have to really connect. And a lot of people communicate, but they don't always connect. Okay, connecting is key. So that also includes transparency. So in some of my conversations, like a recent one, I wasn't exactly being the most receptive to exchanging my own story, my pains, the problems I've been able to experience. And because of that, the conversation was more one-sided in how they felt about everything. So now I just gotta come out like, oh my gosh, like, you know what, I wasn't very clear last time, we didn't really connect, I felt the hesitation, so now I just have to really come out and be like, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I'm struggling with, and you know, if you can be able to understand, we can be able to help each other. I think it takes communicating and really expressing yourself freely to be able to get past some of these obstacles that we're all having. So I have a history as for a lot of pains, suffering, abuse that I have to be able to put into no excuse. This is what I've been through. This is how I handle things. This is what I'm doing to improve. Okay? So all in all, that's just a little bit about one of the things I probably want the most in life, and some of the darkest things that I have to deal with to be able to get past that, with massive complications with my family or friends or people I want to know. Essentially, I have to shine the light, going down a dark corridor, plant seeds. I wrote this whole poem today, and it was really, really awesome. If I could bring it into the picture and read it, I would. You already get enough of my self-expression, so I think that's cool. In essence, though, come to the Lord, and He will set you free. Yep. So that's what I'm going to be striving for, and I have to admit that it's like gotta be the best way. And for you to go any other way means a lot of complications. You want to strive on truth, you want to live in purpose, you want to have freedom to do what you want to do while doing what's right to do. Then live in truth and have Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Now, I hope you do appreciate this third video being about somewhat God and trying to be a little bit more specific, but also being kind of vague. We're going to have to incorporate that into our lives if we really want to win. And the fact that I'm authentic and living in my own personality and character while trying to be able to bring Jesus into the world and also create social awareness where I can limit myself, filter myself, it'll be a challenge. There's no doubt about it. But we're going to do our best to be able to share His glory, His blessings, His love, and connect with the world and create relationships that will sustain and bring the world together in unity. Less pain, okay? Love you. You guys are amazing. Thanks for tuning in. I want to see you again. Alright? Let's practice some martial arts now.